How do you feel?
I feel happy.
I feel happy.
I feel curious.
I feel curious.
I feel bored.
I feel bored.
I feel angry.
I feel angry.
My practice reading. How do you feel? I feel happy. I feel curious. I feel bored. I feel angry.
About the vaccine rollout so far?
Well, we need the supply, we need the logistics, and we need the demand.
Last question, how do you feel about that?
So how do you feel about getting older?
I feel great.
Strange one, yeah. And how do you feel about makeup? Do you enjoy makeup?
I love it. I love it because knowledge is power, and I think we weren't often shown what's so wonderful now.
How do you feel about cramming even more into every waking hour?
And how do you feel about the then return sort of counter argument of like, well, listen. So, how do you feel about those pork scratch?
Now, I want you to sit back, close your eyes, and ask yourself, how do I feel?
How do you feel about me arranging this interview on a Sunday?
Well, I was gonna have to work on my new show anyway, so might as well do this too.
And that's why we're here at this nondescript building in Hell's Kitchen.
Yes, in my beautiful new home.
How do you feel now? Curious? Now you actually have a chance to understand what the original paper was about.
How do you feel when you hear someone speaking differently from you?
Well, how do you feel when you get up in the morning?
What do you feel are how do you feel about Black Lives Matter as a whole?
How do you feel about well-being, like work-life balance? And so I just wonder have you surveyed people at these companies and have you found that anyone really...
But I feel happy because I've rarely been in a room where there are so many IQ points.
I'm happy, I feel good because people are listening, they understand what I'm talking about.
And I feel happy for them, ecstatic for them.
Refreshed. I feel happy and sort of, refreshed and ready to go again.
Yeah. So have you ever just woke up feeling great? I feel happy. Or feel
that will empower future generations. I feel happy about it. It's great to know that.
Relaxed. I feel happy. Feel like the pressure's gone. Feel like we're all on the same page. Let's fucking do this. Let's see how this goes. See you next time.
So I do this behavior and I feel happy when I'm thing that I want, and now I feel happy. My subconscious feeling sad is I feel happy. And as a result of that, I feel safe, I feel secure, I feel happy. But is that belief true? Is there such a thing?
Always have to think about is, do I feel good when I'm with this person? Do I feel happy?
How do you feel? And I said, I feel curious. Because that felt
That's so I feel curious about things that you say. I feel curious.
I want you to get really curious and ask yourself, Ava, what exactly do you...
Feelings I want to feel throughout the day so I can design it that way. To feel loved, to feel curious, to feel bewildered.
And for your inspiration as a teacher. So I guess I'm curious if you had a wish list.
So I'm curious about gender right now because I feel like in our culture we are moving through our understanding.
So much worse off than us. How can I feel so dark and depressed right now?
Right.
I'm curious what you would say.
Well,
I'm sorry for my father and fearful for us as a family. So too did I feel a curious kinship or sympathy with the thief.
So I'm curious as to what brought that change about, and do you feel, since I think most of your funding comes from...
I feel bored. She feels tired. We felt amazed. They feel pleased.
I feel bored. I have no purpose.
Really, to be honest, on a boring gonna feel when I don't,
Without music, I feel bored just typing the codes, every time I feel bored, every time I feel anxious, every time I feel
bored with memory cards, is it okay for me to keep the LRC method with
title versus that title? Why do I feel bored in this content? Why do I want to click away? Why do I feel like I need to keep watching this?
I feel bored because there's nothing to do.
I feel bored. Yeah, I'm sorry you're. Yeah, well, I don't have soccer practice.
I don't feel bored. I do not feel bored. I may be tired around the edges. I may be a bit grumpy around the edges.
His acting in this movie is so much more bored. I feel
bored of it.
Yeah.
I feel like I get bored of things, but I've never gotten bored of this.
I feel like I kind of got this, and maybe I'm feeling a little bit bored. Let's do it.
I feel if I'm bored, how's the viewer going to see this piece? You know, which.
I don't get bored very often, and
250. I feel like I'd get bored with life around 120.
I feel that there's no excuse for me to get bored. There's always something going.
Present what their community is, or what their culture is, or who they are as an individual. Like all these.
I feel angry. There's tightness in my jaw and constriction in my.
/ normal that I feel angry about having had to take on that adult responsibility from a very.
I feel sad. I feel happy. I feel angry. I feel frustrated. Get a little library. I feel angry when someone doesn't do well. That's great.
Nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate him. We were born to work together like feet, hands.
My heart starts to pound, and I feel angry and scared and angry and scared.
And people have often said, do I feel angry? And I say no, because what's the point? Anger doesn't get you anywhere, unless you...
A physical capacity. So, for example, I know when I feel angry, I tend to feel it in my throat. I get like a little...
What's the emotion you feel?
I feel angry.
Okay.
Or I feel angry. Putting your feelings into...
Angry at governments that preach freedom and democracy, then support authoritarian regimes.
Emotion. Instead of just saying, I feel angry, I encourage you to try.
I feel depressed. I feel angry. And I thought, oh my gosh.
Or, I feel angry. Express.
I feel angry.
Angry, right? Yeah. But each time that I feel angry, I try to think,